Hello, 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 and welcome. Let me get some lights, action, camera on in this place. Geez, Louise. Hello, hello. How are you? How are you? All right. So, who do we have here? A male to the B. What are you doing? Thank you for the super sticker. Thank you. I appreciate that. Hello, Mel is traveling. So, Mel, I appreciate you being on here. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. All right. So, what do we have in the chat? And then we're going to get started with my week 77 update. Jeez, Louise. So we have Lakeisha. Lakeisha was the first one in here. Hey, Keisha, how are you? We have, I love that. Have a blessed day, everyone. We have the male to the B. She's traveling, but that has not stopped her. She is the moderator extraordinaire. We love it. All right, then we have Simply Taisha. She says, hey, Dee Lakeisha, Divalicious fam. Happy Sunday. Okay, let's see. Oh, she said, Mel, you hit send before I did. That's so funny. All right, who else do we have? Cookie, how are you? How are you? Oh my gosh, every time I see your profile pic, I try to look and see if I'm getting a dimple. Look at that. I love that. Who else do we have? We have Z. How are you, Z? Hello, hello. Happy Sunday. We have Bellflower. How are you? She says, happy Sunday. She's shouting everybody out. We love that. Hey, Jamie. How are you? I love that. Hey, happy Sunday. How are you all? Let's see. Who else do we have here? We have Wanda Brown. She said hello from NC. I'm thinking that's North Carolina. I love that. Nia, how are you? She says happy Sunday, Dee and Diva. Licious crew. I love that. All right, very good. Thank you for being here. I absolutely love it. You know, I just came from watching Simply Taisha's video. As I was getting ready for this live. So after you're done here, go check out her video over there. So yeah, so I have to be careful with my time. I'm actually going to time myself today because I am running up my storage on StreamYard. I don't have much storage. So I was trying to delete some stuff. And then, you know, of course I had to start the live. I just kind of noticed it. I'm not there. They don't give you, or they haven't given me like a, you know, you're close to your storage, you know, space. So I got to delete some stuff off. So we get cut off. It's not me. It's StreamYard. All right. So I'm going to start off today by talking about, I'm going to get right into it. I'm going to talk about, you know, what's going on with my week. I'm going to show you my weight loss, and then I'm going to tell you some, you know, what I plan to do, and we'll see where it's at. Jeez Louise, like this has been a week for me. So this is my Mounjaro week 77 update. You know, I'm having some emotional eating struggles. I mean, geez, Louise, that's just been kicking my tail. I'm on 12 and a half. So, you know, I have some side effects going on, but they're very minimal. Like they're very minimal. They, you know, at first they were in full effect. Now, as I'm on my second box, can you believe I'm on my second box of 12 and a half milligrams? Is this my second or third? I want to say my second box. I'm on my second box. So I think, this is my sixth or seventh injection. I have to go back and double check. So, you know, my body is obviously getting used to that 12.5, which is a good thing because I was a little bit on the little kind of not so comfy side there for a minute when I couldn't eat. I was super struggling, which, you know, it sounds like a great problem to have when you're trying to lose weight. But when you think about it and you get into the science of it all, it's not a great problem to have, right? Because you got to eat, you got to get those nutrients in. And then I'm trying to retain the muscle I have, and I'm trying to lose fat, and I can't do that if I'm not eating. So, you know, we will see, because I have that DEXA scan coming up here soon. So we will see like what's really been going on. And I feel like I've been just kind of like flouncing around like with the pounds. Like ever since I came off Lent, I've been up and down and not stalled. That's not the correct word. That's like stuck here and there, you know, like kind of just like circling around. So I really have to do a reset. And because my schedule is changing, I'm going back to school. My reset is going to involve that. So I'm just kind of like going slow and steady with this reset into my new school year. That fits right in, right? Slow and steady with my new reset. So anyway, I always have a plan to, get things done. So that's what I'm kind of thinking. I was doing some meal prepping yesterday. So for this coming week, I have like food ready to go, which is so key for me to stay on any kind of a track. So I'm just going to start off, of course, last night I had a members only live. And when I tell you that chat was popping, great live. So I just want to shout out to every member that attended last night's live stream. We had a great conversation, and I really appreciate you because the topic was mental health, emotional struggles, and I've been having some, right? And I've been saying for a while it's some family issues, and I didn't really feel comfortable talking about it because it's not my business. You know what I'm saying? And so, but it affects me because it's my family, and so I didn't really tell the specifics of it. And also, I don't want to be on here doing the ugly Oprah cry. So I'm not going to say but so much about it, but it has been a struggle. It has been a struggle. I will say that. And, I feel like this Mounjaro, it's like Mounjaro versus my emotional eating triggers. And my emotional eating triggers aren't winning, but they're in a close running. So, I've still opted for like to eat stuff, but it's been kind of like the grazing on the carbs, and whereas my daughter's little snacks wouldn't bother me before, like they're tempting me now, or like I'm indulging in a snack here, a snack here, a snack there, a snack everywhere. So it's a real thing. And I've heard people say, like when they decided to get on this medication, they were super focused, they zoned in. Well, I did too. And but what happens is over time, SHI blank T happens. Things happen, and those old things that I've been doing for 20, 30 years kind of kick back in. And so that's why I always say, like, it's the medication, but it's also it's also me making that choice not to give in to that, because I certainly could and have a little bit. And so those emotional struggles are real. So if you're somebody who's struggling emotionally and that triggers your eating, I would say some of the things that I've been doing is finding other things to do. I get on my YouTube and start doing some things with YouTube. I started, looking at my class list. We had school things that I need to do. So that's what's going to be my focus next week, going back into school, getting my room set up, looking at my class list, making things for the kids. So I'm going to take all those things and I'm going to take that energy and put it elsewhere. But since I've been at home, and then my daughter's been home. So my daughter's been home for 2 weeks. She hasn't had camp. She actually starts camp again next week for just a week. But these camps are expensive too. Jeez Louise. So she's going back to camp, and so we had a lot of time to kind of like spend together and do things here and there. And my daughter loves to eat, even though she's like a fit little lady, and she is strong. She loves to eat. So I've just been saying, we've been doing other things besides eating, but I also say, she has to also learn when we're at a restaurant or we're out and about, you can indulge on something, but for the most part, you guys see, she's choosing salads. She's choosing salmon. She loves salmon. She's choosing things like that. So she's kind of modeling what I'm doing, which is great. And then at the end, we may have a dessert. And, really, she likes chocolate, all things chocolate. I don't love chocolate desserts like that. So pretty much she gets to eat it all. As I don't really like that. If that was the dessert, I would not choose, that dessert. So, I've just been dealing with things like that. And then, so I've been distracted, obviously, with her at home, but that comes along with her eating her snacks. She loves strawberries. She loves the blueberries, but she also likes her chocolate ice cream. She likes her little salt and vinegar potato chips. She loves all that kind of stuff. And so now she doesn't know this. I hope she's not listening in, but I'm getting rid of that stuff when school starts. I'm getting rid of that. I want her to also go to school, and I don't know if she'll pack a lunch or have a lunch there. She was into packing, then she was into taking her, eating lunch there. But at schools, the lunches are, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? So, but the fact that she loves strawberries and all that, while that's in season, I'm going to stock up on that, send her to school with that, and, hope she eats it. But that's what she's going to be eating for her after dinner treat, because after dinner, she likes to have a little snack. And like, so now, she likes, whatever in there. If it's ice cream in there, she wants that. We have some popsicles in there, she wants that. But if all I have is fruit, that's what she's going to eat, right? If all I have is something healthy, that's going to be her choice. So that's right. So I'm also modeling those kind of, behaviors for her. So I feel like it's a huge responsibility, but somebody's got to do it. And why not her mom? So that's my emotional eating. That's my emotional eating. I'm just really trying to get that under control. And, my family situation is not going to, it's just like something that's not going to resolve itself tomorrow. It just is not. So, maybe one day somebody will get a phone call with me boo-hooing about it. I doubt it. But it's definitely on my mind. It's definitely on my mind. So, I notice because I sit and think, or, when I get up in the morning, there's certain questions I ask myself and I kind of think, and everything lately has led back to that. Now, another thing too is, and I don't know if I put this on my little, uh, my little, what I'm going to talk about today, but I have not been going to Pilates. Remember, because my daughter's not in camp, like I was going during the day, and I'm always on a wait list, but I get right into those classes. Well, here recently, I haven't been, even on the wait list, and in the afternoon classes, I mean, those wait lists, I'm used to it being like 6 people waiting, 5 people waiting. Eventually, you get in because they cancel. But in the afternoon, which makes sense, right? Because most people are probably working and then going to Pilates after. Well, those classes are so hard to get into. And I don't want to schedule for somebody to rearrange their schedule for me. And then I don't even go to the class because I didn't get in it. So I have not really been doing that. But I am going to tap into that because I think my last little month stretch is here. So I'm going to try to get the most out of it I can. I was supposed to call them today. I left a message canceling on Friday, and I didn't hear from anybody. And then, so this is my 3rd month, my last month, and I just want to make sure they cancel me out because I don't want to pay. It's expensive, and I can't even go and get my money's worth out of it. So I haven't been doing the Pilates. So I've been doing, the same strength training things I was doing before I was going to Pilates. One thing I said I was going to do, which I just have not done, is I said I was going to walk on that treadmill. So maybe next week, I'll get on there and walk every day on my treadmill, just get, 15 or 20 minutes. And I always say that and stay on at least a half hour. So I like to set a small goal and exceed it. And so, I'll say, I'm going to get on there 10 minutes. That'll make me feel good about it. And then next thing I know, it's 30, 40 minutes in and I'm still on there. So that works for me. So that's what's going on with my, my exercise. My side effects, I was having the appetite suppression that was so suppressed. I'm not really having that now. Now I can eat, but what I've been doing is I've been eating till 12, 1 o'clock every day, which I'm not planning to do that. I'm just doing that. I don't eat. So I still, my daughter eats and then I just wait. So like today, I think I ate like at 12:30. But as far as I can push it in, and I'm really trying to do that to build up stamina because when I go back to work, I also want to put that into place with, the side effects of it all. My eating has been pretty good, but I've been still eating out a lot. I told you July and into August is like the month of being social for me. It's because my birthday, people want to get together. And then people also want to get together back before I go back to school. So, just yesterday I was with some friends from, one lady is retired. The other 2 I work with currently now, we don't work in the same, like they're 2nd grade and 4th grade, but I'm, 3rd grade. So they wanted to like hang out with my daughter because the last time we hung out, she was, on a field trip at her camp. So I met them out yesterday. We had a great time. We went to eat. And so one of the things I ate, I had this great salad. Like I almost want to go back and get it again. I think it was called a triple berry salad. And it had strawberries, blueberries. It had cranberries. I got a piece of salmon on top. It had Gouda cheese, which I don't love that, but it was tasty in that salad. And something else was in there. I can't remember. It was something else that was in there. Oh, red onions, which are my favorite. I love a good red onion in a salad. And then the dressing, I almost was like regretting that I didn't take my own dressing, but the dressing was a balsamic vinaigrette and it was really good. And the lady gave me like the cup, like in a side cup, and I didn't even eat all of it. So I felt good about that. I didn't need it. The salad was so good. The lettuce was so crisp and fresh. Just everything was great. So I was was glad about that. Every time I could go out and make a good choice like that without eating fries and something greasy, I give myself, a high five because, that's not something I would normally do, before this journey where I would go out and I would always say, this is my treat. So I'm going to get something fried, dyed, and laid to the side. So, but I didn't do that. I didn't do that. So I really was able to focus in on that eating. So, for me, people who say that they don't have to think a lot in this journey, they just get up and go. They're on autopilot. It's easy breezy, lemon squeezy. There was a time when I felt like that. Now I'm feeling like, I feel like the more weight you lose, once you get to that end, toward that end goal, which for me, it's not an end goal, but my first big target, again, is 100 pounds. I feel like every obstacle is coming at you. It's like an avalanche. And it's like, how are you going to figure out how to duck, dodge, and maneuver? So that's what I feel like I'm going through right now. And that's okay, because I'm in it to win it. I'm in it for the long term. And, I'm not going to give up. When life throws you lemons, what do we do, everybody? Let me know in the chat. We make lemonade. Thinking of that, I'm going to talk about this on Wednesday, but I came up with this drink. And it's nothing like super fancy, but I think this drink is going to sail me through to that 100 pounds. I'm going to incorporate this drink into my work schedule and just sip on it, throughout the day. I think this might curb my need to this is also like a trained kind of thing where my kids are in there, in my classroom. It's kind of stressful. Sometimes they're eating and it just makes me want to eat. So I need to curb that. One of the things I talked about this early on in my journey, is I would have gum. And I feel like it's something in my ear. Here it is. Why do I have this in my ear? I'm like, something is going on. I had my earphone in my ear. But I would have gum at my desk and, in my classroom, so that if I felt the need to want to chew something, I would just chew the gum. So I'm also going to have the gum. I'm stocked up. Am I stocked up? I think my daughter took my gum. I might have to get some more gum. But, I got my gum, my little spearmint gum. It's not those, the flat ones. It's the cubes, but I have those ready to go. So I'm going to be chewing that gum and I want to sip on this drink. So we'll see how that goes. I get Dunkin' Donuts for my class every month for the birthdays. And before Mounjaro, I was getting donuts myself. I would get a donut. Now I have not been. I've skipped the donut. So I'm very proud of myself. Although I probably could have a donut, right? Once a month, but I just hadn't wanted to. So we will see, now that I've been on this journey for so long and my body is so used to things, what's going to happen. But, I could see myself saying no to the donut, and I may get my own little high protein, snack. A lot of those high protein snacks, I'm not a fan of those. What I do like is a good protein bar, and I like a protein shake, and I backed up off of those. So, girl, you look good. Why don't you back that thing up? So I've been backing up on those protein shakes. I really have. And I haven't even bought any. I have a 6-pack of the 42. That's a big baby in chocolate. And I'm going to save that for school, when I go back to school. And I want to say it's 6 or 12 of them in there. But they were expensive because it's 42 or 45 grams of protein in the one shake. Fairlife, that's the brand I use. But so I backed away from those protein bars and so, I got to embrace those again. My protein bars are always 20 grams of protein or higher. The ones I love are from Aldi's, but it's like eating a Snickers and it doesn't have a lot of protein in it. And I remember Coach Ramiko and, any of these doctors you listen to will tell you, your protein snack should be 20 grams of protein or higher if you can help it. And so that's what I've been trying to stick to and do. So that brings me to, we almost 20 minutes in, my weight loss reveal. So I want you to take a guess in the chat. It's so many comments in the chat. Okay, I have to go back up in here. Let me know. What do you think? What do you think? Do you think I lost? Do you think I gained? Or do you think I maintained? My face is feeling slim too. What do you guys think about this face? Look at this. Now, I've always had this hanging skin. Actually, I feel like it's kind of filling out. When I was looking at myself the other day in the mirror, or was that this morning? I was thinking I had a little chunk under there. And I guess it's just the morning bloat, because now it's back to, being flat and wrinkly, but geez, oh man. So I know when some young guy is looking at me, because I always get the young guys trying to talk to me. I wonder now, are they looking at this neck? Because you can also tell in your hands, like in a woman's hands, like your age shows. It's like no, you're not getting. Oh, some of these celebrities might be getting plastic surgery in their hands, for all I know. But you could get surgery to kind of pull some of that stuff back. I'm not doing it. I don't even have the money if I wanted to do it. To do all that. But yeah, so I just noticed like that cheek line. I love that for myself because um that's another non-skill victory I see for myself when I'm feeling chunky, because I'm still having those menopause symptoms. Maybe I need to talk about that too, because there's a lot going on with that. I do see my gynecologist next month, and I can't wait. I told you, you know how people used to sleep outside of the Best Buy to buy TVs for Christmas? I might sleep outside her office if they let me in, so I can make sure I don't miss that appointment, because I am so looking forward to that appointment. So we had some new folks come in. Okay, after I see your predictions, I'm gonna reveal my weight and then go back in the chat and welcome those folks that joined us. I appreciate that. And then we have some questions. I love a good question. Thank you for asking me a question. Let's see. Okay, so I'm trying to find where people say, let's see. Oh, she says, can I easily not chew more than a couple of pieces? I can't. I can. I can. Actually, that's something I can do. Like one piece is good. You know how some people chew gum until the sugar runs out and then they don't want to chew anymore? Not me. I could chew a gum until till the sun sets for the night. I can start in the morning and chew at night. So no, I don't have that. So I'm glad I don't have that. But I can certainly see how you could get it. All right, so people are saying, I lost for sure. Okay, all right, you lost. Hey, Paula, I think you lost. Yes, your face is slim. It is kind of, and my face has been slim, but I'm telling you, I've noticed, I want to say last week, I was thinking, my face is not looking as slim. Oh, she thinks I went down. Bellflower. Okay, all right, lost. Sin. Hey, Sin. Lost. I think you've hit the nail on the head, Mel. Oh, Mel is guessing 1.2. Okay. Yes, your face looks slimmer. Okay, the scale got low. It got low. It got low, got low, got low. Okay, let's see. What else is anybody taking a guess? Okay. She says, yes, Grace. Low, 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 low. Hey, Kim. All right. Miss B. She says, Shay, you lost 1.2 pounds this week. Oh, my goodness. All right. Let's see. You guys, what are you guys saying? Hey, V. Real talk, journal talk with V. Okay. All right. Okay. So let me go to my actual weight. Let me take this banner off. Mine's so odd. I really like doing this. Whether I lose or gain, I just think it's so much fun. I don't know why. It's like, because I like a surprise. That's the thing. What's up with that? I love a good surprise. Okay. All right. So the emotional eating battle. So did it win? Did it win? Did it conquer the scale? Did it overtake the scale? I feel like it's emotional eating versus Mounjaro. So what is it? What is it? Ta-da! I lost 1 pound. 1 pound. So I'm at 232.6. So male to the B. You were so close. Anissa, you were so close too with that 1.3. Yes, yes, yes. So I am down 1 pound from last week. When I remember I gained that 2. I gained the 2. And then so now I lost one of those. I'll gain more. I think I gained 2.2, right? That 0.2 was up in there. So this week I lost the 1 pound. And so geez Louise, that at least a loss is a loss. But I didn't even know about that. And that's because I've been eating out, but that just goes to show, I guess you can eat out and still eat healthy. So, or like not sabotage totally your weight loss. So I think that is so, so, so cool. So cool. So I'm just excited that that 1 pound down. So you people that were on that members only live, I talked about my goal to get to 100 pounds. And I started with them. So I'm going to bring it to you guys. Did I say I was going to bring it to them? I can't remember, but I am nevertheless. And so I just want to know, do you guys think it's reasonable for me to lose 100 pounds by Christmas? By the end, I should say the end of the year, the first of the new year. So by the time we are into 2026, do you think it's reasonable that I could lose? So that would be how many more pounds? Like 27, 26, 26. Think I could lose 26 pounds by the end of the year? That's what I want to know. Simply Taisha, she says, thank you. Yay for the 1 pound. Thank you. Let me see if I have my super sticker. I don't know if this is a new link. Oh, here it is. Okay, very good. Thank you for the 1 pound. I'll take it, Taisha. I didn't even know if I could do that. Let's see. Where's Mel with her super sticker? Let me see, Mel. I think you're at the top here. Here we go. I want to give you a thank you too. All right. I appreciate that. Okay, so hey, let's go back up in this chat. Now, I'm gonna go to the questions. I see we have some questions. Let's see. I've been noticing a lot of people who are on the same week as me, week 19, are starting to feel low mood. I keep sharing Taisha's video, but are there any other suggestions? When you say low mood, you mean like not having energy or your mental space? Because I talked about this last night too on my members only live. I talked about, having that. I think Darium called it journey fatigue. Someone said, I think that was Darium who said that last night. And I don't know what we could give things fancy names. I don't know what we want to call it, but I do think that that's a thing. I think, when you're on this journey, and even if things are going great, everything's not going to go great. But I think when you think you're doing so well, you're trotting along, you're doing all the things, and then something, you're not seeing the results in the way you want to see them. And it could be the scale, it could be some clothes, it could be, your energy level. I think people do get kind of fatigued by that. So I would say, Joe, do like a reset. What are some things I would ask myself? I think journaling is a great thing because I'm so in my professional life. I'm so used to like keeping track of things and writing things down, or organizing things in my head. When I get up in the morning, I just kind of ask myself, what is my goal for today, with like what things I want to get accomplished for the day, and I have it set in my mind, and I need to start writing back on my calendar because I started relying on my phone, and I'm just not a digital girl to rely on my whole schedule with me and my daughter, all we have going on the phone. So I kind of have to like write it down to see the big picture. Like on the phone, you got to press that. And well, you guys might have a fancy app, I don't know. But on my calendar, I got to press into the calendar to see what's going on. And so I need to, but I'm normally have it all written down. So I have our school schedule written down, but all the social things that we got going on, I got to write that down. But I would say journaling is a good thing. What are some of the things that get you in that great mood? Like focus on those. So for me, my things are going to the hair salon, even though I could do my own hair, going and letting somebody else do it. That's an expense. I get it. So maybe you might want to have something else if you don't want the expense. Maybe taking a walk, maybe going to a movie, even going alone, maybe not just Netflix and chilling it, go to an actual movie theater. I would say do something that are things to pick up your mood. That's what I would say to do. I know a lot of times we look at like, okay, well, what supplements are you taking? Maybe you should take to your doctor. I know a lot of times we always think of like medicine as the fix, but remember, food is medicine. Also, what are you eating? Maybe what you're eating is also bringing your mood down. There's a lot of things that affect the mood. Of course, the hormones, I don't know if you looked at your hormones, talked to your doctor about that. But when you're a lady of a certain age, those hormones control a lot of how we feel from day to day. I think I've just been blessed that I'm one of those people that I'm pretty much I stay in a pretty good mood. I mean, I don't know what it is. My mom always used to say, "You're like, you're a blessing." Because geez Louise, how do you stay in a she didn't say geez Louise, but I'm saying, geez Louise, how do I stay in such a good mood? And I just equate that to my spirituality, like being very spiritual, believing in God, having faith, having hope. And I always see like the good side of things. Like when I am down and out, I just cry it out. Tears are great for the soul. It really is. I think, a lot of times we don't want to cry because it sounds like, especially when a woman cries, it's like that weakness. People think crying is a weakness. I think crying is a strength. But I don't want to do the ugly cry on here because I just don't want to play that back and see my self crying. But at home, I cry in a heartbeat. You can ask my daughter. I'll shed a tear in a minute. I feel things, I feel for people. I'm very empathetic. So, I mean, people are going to give you medicine ideas. I would say, besides talking to your doctor or supplements and things to, to regulate yourself, I would say, look at what things that bring you joy and focus on those, maybe increase those. That's what I would do. I'm not the first one to like run to medicine, but if it's your hormones, I would definitely talk to a doctor about that because we're not going to be able to regulate those hormones on our own. And that's why I always say, when I have my perimenopause symptoms, I'm not white knuckling anything. I just, for the most part, I feel pretty good. And when I don't, it's definitely temporary. And also my mindset can shift it around. You know what I'm saying? So, and that's just me. So we'll see what my doctor says. So when I go in September. Okay, so I'm gonna find another. I saw another question. I thought. I hope that was helpful. Hopefully people gave you some things in the chat. That's just me. That's just kind of how I think. Dee Dee, you are better than me because I'll chew packs and packs of gum. Yeah, I don't have a need to do that, but I may be doing that more. Anissa, I say that now. That's what I've done in the past. A girl has a right to change her mind, I always say. Okay, so she says, can I easily chew the gum? Okay, all right. So let me go way back up to the chat because you guys have so many things. One second, my daughter has a question. Hold on. Okay, all right. So let's see what you guys are saying. I'm sorry, I'm about to go way back up in this chat. I said hello. Let's see who came in. So Joe, how are you? Joe came in. Harjarine, how are you? Harjarine, standing on business, Harjarine. I love that. I think I said hello to Nia. Cassandra, how are you? Look at you. What a beauty. I love it. Loving the glasses and the choker. Jeez, Louise. She says hi from Harrisburg, PA. I love that. Let's see, who else do we have? Did I miss anybody? Okay, I think Z was left. Grace, how are you? How are you? Welcome to the chat, Grace. Let's see. Cookie, how are you? Hey, I think I saw you, Cookie. I saw Kim. Let's see, anybody else I missed? Joe, was that helpful? Did people answer your questions? That's a tough one. I just think that this journey, you got it. We are like soldiers. I feel like I say this, and I heard somebody else say this after I said, I said, we're in a war on obesity. And I really feel like I'm in a war. Like this is a battle, just like that battle of my emotional eating. I feel like, thank you, Kim. I feel like, we're in a battle. And the one thing we cannot do, no matter, you might take some dips and turns, you might take a detour, you might stop, for a little bit, but and when I say stop, I don't mean stop because I don't want you to stop. Take a pause and reset. But you got to keep going. You got to keep going. Now, if you stop and you made your goal, or if this is some kind of way like affecting your quality of life and you stop, that's different. But if you're just frustrated on your journey, I say keep taking that injection because other things are happening in your body that the scale can't see. When we say that, that's just a fact, right? That's a real thing. We know things are happening, things are going on. So I would say, do a reset. I'm in the process of a reset right now, and I'm going to be talking about exactly what that looks like, in the upcoming week or so. Okay. Joe, sometimes people can be so focused on the finish line, they miss seeing how far they've come. It definitely has to go beyond the scale. Yes. But the thing of it is, no matter how many times any of us say that, it is a weight loss journey. So I get that. It is. And when you're in it and when you're going through the thick of it and it's not coming along the way you want or how fast you are, that's why you got to hold on to those. I agree. Those non-scale victories. That's when you got to look at all the other things that are going well. And I would say do things that you enjoy, because otherwise you could focus in. Like I think our minds are set that way to focus in on the negative, right? We hear something about somebody. My mind doesn't think like that. I'm going to thank God for that. When I hear something about somebody, my mind always goes to, okay, giving people the benefit of the doubt. But most people that I have come across, their first instinct is to buy into that negativity because our brains are wired like that. It really is. And I just think that the weight loss is the same thing. Our minds are wired to like sabotage ourselves, like secretly. And I know I've been doing that, secretly sabotaging myself. Now, do I say like, oh, Downsizing Diva, let me think about how I could mess up my weight loss journey? No, but my action. So, let's go by what we're doing and not what we're seeing. Let's other people do. Let's go by what we're kind of doing, right? To make our journey successful. Like you just got to stay on course, stay focused. Week 19, I'm going to have to find what you are sharing about, Joe. Okay. Yeah. And Joe, you have some great non-skill victories. You got outside and you just did it. I love that. I love seeing you out and about like that because I know that was a struggle for you at one time. Joe says, Harjareen, you look stunning in your latest post pic. Yes, she does, doesn't she? I saw that this morning too. I said, go Harjareen. I'm telling you, Harjareen is standing on business. I love to see somebody in like in a business kind of look. Like that's my most that's my most what can I say? That's my most I don't know. Like if I was doing a photo shoot, some people might want to be like showing all, the TNA of it all. I want to be like in a business suit with a pencil skirt with some heels on. Maybe that's the school teacher in me. But I think I love when people look business like it's just like a woman. It just gives me boss vibes, right? It gives me boss vibes. So look at Margarine. She's standing on business. I love that. I'm going to say that about that profile pic. She says lemon with a dash of vodka and Linda's jalapeno peppers. That is so funny. Oh my goodness. I love that. I'm just drinking that plain lemonade. I could just laugh at myself. Can you imagine me with like some something in my drink? Jeez Louise. Joe, go figure. Taisha's been talking about this phenomenon for a few weeks regarding folks like us who are 12 to 18 months in and literally doing all the things as they say. Yes. And again, I like the way Darian said, and I don't know where he got that from, but he called it journey fatigue. And I think a lot of us, have that. And I think when you get to the point where you're in maintenance, like Taisha and Amel and Bellflower, and you're just trying to, maintain and, not, go back to where you were at all or not trying to move forward. I think when you have that going on, I think that it's even harder, right? So when somebody is in maintenance, I'm telling you, I have all the respect for them that can keep it going because now my motivation, when you have a goal, how some people and athletes, professional athletes will tell you this. They have a goal and, you want to get to that goal. So what do you think the athletes do when the Super Bowl come and now they met the target or they reached that epitome of whatever they're trying to do. And now it's like, you got to find another source of motivation, right? You got to find something else. And so people in maintenance probably experience that like your athletes. They just do because now you've met your goal. Now you're trying to maintain. You don't want to gain it back, but you also don't want to dip down too low either. So that's a problem I would love to have. Let me first say that. I want to have that problem, but I see where it can be a struggle. It really can be a struggle, to kind of go through that. So I'm going through that, even though I have not met my goal. It's kind of like, I feel like, I don't have fatigue about that. I just have other things coming into play that has taken me off, my road that I was on. I'm just kind of like, just gotta kind of do a reset. But it's a good problem to have because, I'm still motivated. I still know I can do it. I still plan to do it. It's just a matter of, setting myself up for success. That's my phrase I use with the kids. I want to set you up for success. So I got to also implement that with myself, setting myself up for success. That's what we do to kids. That's what you should be doing in your home. And that's what I'm trying to do in mine. And I think that's a real thing, right? To set yourself up for success. And so I have not been doing that. I think that that's probably been my struggle. And it's the emotions of it all that plays into that. Let's see. All right. So I saw mail. There was some sort of gift and it disappeared. Is this it? Nail to the D. Thank you. I don't know. Was that it? Did I miss that? And Mel says, in case I lost connection on the plane, congrats. I'm so happy for you. Thank you, Mel. I don't know if I saw those or not, but okay, let me give you a thank you. I'm so sorry. Up there, this StreamYard, it's just the way this stuff works. Simply Taisha, she says, thank you, Taisha. She says, I totally understand we want to lose weight, but if we truly think about it, there is typically a reason for that other than just a number. This is why we have to focus on those things. If not, we will stay stuck at the scale, or we will stay scale stuck. Yes, and I agree. And that's why I say, I know it's, I think people need discipline, but I do think you need that motivation, right? Discipline is going to keep you at it. Motivation is what's going to get you started, right? Motivation gets you started. Discipline is what's going to keep you at it. So my motivation is really just getting healthy because I really want to be around long term when my daughter gets older to see her kids and her grandkids. And so I got to be healthy for that. That's really like my motivation. And so that didn't change, right? I'm still motivated to do that. But do I have things in place to help me get there? That's what I need to know. That's what I have to be prepared for, is to have those things in place to get there. Let's see. Harjareen. Oh, Harjareen, that's so sweet. She gifted a membership. Yes, one of the things is gifted $1. Thank you. Who did you gift it to? It's not showing me. Gifted a membership. Let's see. Mail to the B. That is so cool. And it did pick the person. Who is it? I don't know who it is. So my plan is to, not this Saturday, but maybe the next Saturday. What date is that? Because I got that stocks class coming up. That's September 13th. So I'm going to go in there and change some things too. I don't know if you guys looked at that. I'm going to go in there and change some things with my stock thing. I got to find a way to kind of promote that because I'm not a very good self-promoter. But so I know I have that on September 13th. So I'm going to try to do my live like every other month. And then as we get close to like for the members live, and as we get closer to Christmas, I'm going to try to pick that up a little bit. Because I think when the holidays come, that's when we definitely need a lot of motivation, right? I feel like I'm a little bit of a motivational speaker. I don't know why, because I need all the motivation I can get too. I certainly do need motivation myself, but I just love to encourage people. I think that's cool. See, this is not telling me who those people are that you guys gifted the membership to, but I'll look it up if it doesn't tell me, and so we can welcome them aboard. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to go back and find, I hope you guys realize too, as you get more people in your lives and chats, it's so hard to keep up with the chat and get everybody. So if I skip over your comment, you guys can see each other's comments. It's not that I'm just skipping you. I'm just trying to get through because there's a ton of things up in here in the chat. So I want to make sure I do that. Is it, let's see, I see some people saying hello to Isdarium. I don't even see where Isdarium came in. Surprise. Hey, Darium, how are you? And then Felicia, I don't think I saw you. Hey, welcome to the chat. Let's see. And the winner is the Diva. I love that cookie. Yes, yes, yes. Dee Dee's chin line. It is. Check this out. I mean, geez, Louise, I'm so proud of that. You kind of see yourself and then you don't. So I'm like, geez, oh man, I'm kind of feeling happy about that. Now, if only I could get those stomach and thighs, Joe, fall in line. My stomach and thighs. I don't need dimples for them. They got dimples of their own. I don't have a chisel there, but that's okay. I saw this lady. Now I'm wondering, sometimes online, you'd never know, but I saw this lady. And when I tell you, I should have screenshotted her picture to show you because she had all these like, she just had the chunkiness like I have going on big time. And, but she looked still good, I'm sure in clothes you don't know she is that dimpled or chunky. But she was showing it all. And then she had an after picture. And when I tell you she did not have bat wings, I couldn't believe it. I was like, how did this lady end up without bat wings? When I tell you now, she said she was in her 50s because I always look at the age or late 40s. I think she said she was in her upper 40s, late, almost close to 50. But I was like, geez, Louise, that gives me hope that, these bat wings might not take flight. They might go away because that lady looked so good. So when I see people who can get rid of those bat wings, that kind of gives me hope. All right, so you guys are saying, hello, hello. Let's see. We have Jade Sin. She says, yes, it is possible. You think I could do the 100 pounds by Christmas? Okay. Focus on the average. When I did Weight Watchers, my average in 1 year was 1. Yes. And there's a content creator. Her name is Toy. I think it's Miss Toy in Review. I might have to share her video because she's in maintenance. And that was a great video. She talked about, she just broke it down. Like she talked about maintenance so well and what she was doing when she had to go off that medication for 7 weeks. And I was like, gosh, I could really understand and follow her. She's also a teacher, which is probably why, I have that little special connection. I want to say she teaches first grade. So she talked about that and she broke it down and gave some strategies of what you could do. And so I thought, even if you're not in maintenance, if you had to go off the medication for some weeks for surgery, because I think that's what she had to go off for, some procedure, I just thought that was great. So yeah, so I think I brought her up because she talks about Weight Watchers. She still does Weight Watchers. And this is why, I know people, Weight Watchers is not popular right now, but I actually loved Weight Watchers when I went. I just didn't love how the Weight Watch, now when I say that was slow and steady, it was slow and steady. And I didn't have the mindset I have now where I have patience. So when I think back, it's like I wanted that weight loss to come off like it did the first week or two, or the month. The first month I was down 20 pounds at Weight Watchers, or maybe sometimes even by two months, I would say I would be down 20 pounds. And then after that, it would slow down and I was still tracking, still eating. I'm one of those people who eat pretty much the same things I like over and over. And the weight just would stall. And so instead of me doing other things like exercising or, looking at exactly what I was eating, not as opposed to like staying in within my points, I didn't do that. I was just like, forget this, I'm just going to do whatever I want to do. So that's what I would do on Weight Watchers. But Weight Watchers trained me. That's where I learned how to journal, and which is write things down. And that's how I learned how to track and not have the track fatigue, because I was just memorizing what I was doing, right? I was eating the same old thing. So this Miss Toy in Review, she talks about that journal, the Weight Watchers, and how she still keeps track of her points. And I thought it was so cool to have somebody on a GLP-1 that's not bashing Weight Watchers, because I know people think Weight Watchers is like, it's like, they think Weight Watchers just deceive them somehow. Well, I feel like the doctors knew better than Weight Watchers. They should, you know what I'm saying? So, I just didn't feel like Weight Watchers was like, it was such a crime. I just think that they knew, like, they were doing what everybody else was telling us to do. Drop those calories low, work out, till, you're tired and falling over, and, basically eat less and work out more. And they tried to tweak some things. I feel like they even got on the keto ban. They didn't call it keto, but, eating like certain meats and vegetables was 0 points. So they were trying to get people over there. I think they've tried to tweak some things over the years. Weight Watchers is not paying me, so let me stop up and wait. But I just feel like I love to see that because I think I just kind of look at intentions a lot. And I think if somebody has good intentions, you got to give them that, right? Because we're not always going to make the right choice. But I think if you have good intentions, that kind of can, to me, sometimes outweigh if you do something that's kind of mischievous. You know what I'm saying? Or kind of, I don't want to say mischievous, but how they, I guess, allegedly misled some folks, right? And I just think they knew what to do. They were doing what the doctors were doing and saying, like, what doctors were also doing that. Um, Thank you for reminding us to like this live, everyone. Like this live. It's funny. I started talking about Weight Watchers and people, a couple people tuned out of here. All right, so Paula, you think I can? Okay, all right, I can do it. Thank you. Thank you. You're hoping to lose 16 pounds. So we'll have to check in with each other. I love that. She says, LOL, my feed was behind. Focus on average loss, not the weekly or daily ups and downs. When I lost on Weight Watchers, I averaged 1. Okay, yes. And so, I guess my average now is probably a little bit under that 1. But as long as I'm not under 0.5, it's up close to 1 because I'm at 73 pounds and 77. So, but as long, I think if you're 0.5 to 2, or is it 2.5? 0.5 to 2 is considered normal, regular weight loss, right? So that is my average. So I'm still in there. I'm still easy peasy lemon squeezy. So I still have a good average. Now, if my average got down to 0.5, then I don't know if I'd be worried, but I feel like I need to really maybe kick it up a notch just for my own sanity. But for now, I'm still feeling good. I'm feeling so good. I knew that I would be taking care of my life like I should. You guys know who sings that? Who knows who sings that song? Jeez Louise, does anybody know who sings that song? And I probably sound like her because I'm not a great singer, but I'll sing a tune anyway. All right. Yes, I have felt that low mood because of the scale. I'm holding on to those non-scale victories. Yes, yes, yes. I really want us to focus on that. This journaling, reflection on the journey, and documenting the things we're grateful for is a great idea. I love music, putting on a good playlist. Yes. So yeah, find the things that bring you joy. And I also do that. And for me, mine is gospel music too. I know all these songs. I can hip hop, it's so funny. I rap to my class, I can rap and freestyle off the top of my head. Can you see me doing that? I do it all the time. My kids are like, oh my gosh, you should have been a rapper. My daughter is always so impressed. I just bust out a rap for her. I might do it on here one day, show my skills. Somebody might be trying to hire what do you call me? What do they call you when you're pregnant but you're over a geriatric? So I might be a geriatric rapper. Is somebody looking for a geriatric rapper? That could be me. But so yeah, so I like to rap. I like to, just have that beat in my head. But a lot of times, I think it brings me closer to my mom, my dad, my grandmother. I put on my gospel music and I sing like I'm in the shower. I sing like I'm on stage. I sing like I'm at I sing like I'm on stage somewhere about to do my gospel bust down. I'm just singing and having a good old time. So I love that. I love the idea of journaling and then putting on that music. Music kind of sets the tone for a lot of things. So I think that's a great idea, Joe, to add that to it. Dee and V, rooting for you both to meet your year-end goals. Yeah, thank you, Kim. I need that. I need to get to my goal. When I lost on Weight Watchers, I averaged 1.6 pounds a week. The total was 100 pounds, ups and downs and plateaus. Look at what you've lost on average and the total. It took time to gain the weight. It takes time to lose it. Yes, JC, that's a word. Let me give you some confetti. Yes, yes, yes. I love that. I love that. That's a great way to look at it and looking at that average. And another thing that helps me too is looking at my body percentage of body, fat that I've lost, because if a lot of us have exceeded the studies, right? Of what you should lose. A lot of us have exceeded that. So I absolutely love that. I love that. So that's another thing. I'm over here though. I am celebrating those non-scale victories. So, and if you need some encouragement, go on my post. I post a lot up there. I need to promote this too, because I wrote this and just kind of set out and thought, like, what was I doing? And I kind of wrote out, like, if you're a slow responder or if you're a slow and steady person, what can you do and what should you do? So you should visit my stand store. I'm gonna put my little stand store link up there. Visit my stand store. So if you know somebody that could benefit from that, or you can benefit from that, it's also linked in my description of probably all my videos now. But visit my stand store, because on that stand store, I'm going to be talking about, some things with GLP-1s. And one of the things I talk about is that slow and steady weight loss. And it's kind of like a guide to kind of get you through there. And I'm not considered a slow responder. And I say that in my guide. I'm not a slow responder technically yet, but I have lost slow and steady. And I was talking to somebody about that and said, I wouldn't consider you a slow and steady weight loss, Dee, because she said, because you have been losing, pretty much consistently, but it has been slow and steady, because when I think about, the highest amount of weight I've lost in 1 month has been 9 pounds. And that was when I did the Lent. Other than that, I'm losing, 4 pounds a month, 5 pounds a month. I haven't had like a 12-pound 1 month weight loss. And even 9 pounds, I was like excited about that, so I'm not losing like 2 pounds a week. But there are so many people who have, especially when you're first starting out. So, and then there were so many weeks, like when I go back and look at this month of July, I probably had a 2 or 3 pound loss, and then I gained the 2 pounds. 2 point something pounds. So I have, had a slow and steady. To me, that is slow and steady. Slow means not fast. That's just really what it means. It means not fast. Now, a slow responder, there's a technical definition for that. Like, there's a technical reason why you're considered, by Lilly, a slow responder. Or and Novo, and I talk about this too in my little resource there. Novo doesn't call it a slow responder. But we realize some people do respond slower to the meds. And, a lot of it for me could be, the fact that I'm a diabetic. I wasn't one of those diabetics that got up super, super duper high, but I was still in the 7.6. That's, I think what, if you're 6.5 or 6.7, is it 6.7 or 6.5 or higher, you're considered a diabetic. So I was, I was in that next, I wasn't in the 6s, I was in the 7s. But so I think all that plays into how you're losing, and so, yeah. So for me, I just think, like, I'm in this for the long haul. I really am. So I'm going to have some ups and downs. I realize that, some peaks and valleys. And so I'm all about that. So I just love that comment, JC, because those are the kind of things that keep me going and not keep me stuck when I am, when I do something that I know or I eat something I know I shouldn't be doing, or, like, let my mind think like, oh my gosh, why didn't I lose? Like last week when I gained that 2.2 pounds, I understood it. I knew why I lost it. I wasn't trying to like figure out why I lost it and how I lost it, and was it inflammation and all of that. I knew I was doing something different, and I knew I wasn't doing the same old thing. And then I also think when you get up into these higher weight losses, like if you're in the 50s, 60s, 70s pounds down, your body eventually is going to get used to, it's going to do everything it can to hold on to that fat. So, unless you tweak something or reset something, you could be stuck in a pattern of losing, gaining, or not losing, losing a little bit, not losing, gaining. So you almost have to come up with a reset and do something different. And so that's why you might hear me on here saying I'm going to reset, as often as I need to get to what I need to do. Am I going to have a radical change like I did with that Lent? No, that was for a specific thing. That was for Lent. That was for, religious, and something that I do every year, just to giving up something. So that's why I say all this is a mindset shift, because when I was doing Lent, I wasn't thinking about eating meat. Now I'm thinking about eating chicken. I wasn't thinking about, oh, really not chicken turkey so much. I made some chili, some turkey chili, and I had a taste for that. I made some ground turkey meat to make some little, taco salads. So was craving, like I had a craving for like turkey. During Lent, I didn't think about eating any kind of meat other than salmon. So it's a mindset. Everything is a mindset shift, and that's what we kind of have to work on, that mindset, which the medication helps us with, but we also have to dig deep within for ourselves too. All right, so let's see. Okay, went off on a tangent. Who knew you could do something like you could not? Who knew? Who knew you could not something like you could not do something like that? YouTube goes all out. And she's thanking Taisha for the reminder. I think I'm lost up in the chat somewhere. Remember, we're saying the same thing. The closer you get to your body's goal, may be different than your preferred weight. There is less to lose. You have to make, and look at the protein you are getting, enough calories, etc. Yes. I agree. It randomly selects who? Jen F. Tag, you're it, girlfriend. Let's see. I'm scrolling down. I see you guys are talking amongst yourself, which is great. Hi, Didi and community. Happy Sunday. I'm a newbie, sort of. Been watching you guys since March. Thanks for the motivation. Yes, G. Brooklyn. Or is that Brolin? G. Brolin. Okay, Brolin. Am I saying it right? I love that. I've never heard of that name, Brolin. I love that. And because I'm a teacher, when I hear a new name, I get excited because some of these names I see all the time. I've never heard anyone called Harjareen, so I love her name because I think it has to be unique. Yeah. I've taught adults too. I've taught adult classes. Never heard of, when I hear a different name, I've never heard of I'm trying to think, I've ever had a Darium? I don't know if I've had a Darium. I think that's a unique name too. Let's see. You guys are saying tag your it. My face looked like a Christmas tree when I saw you in the chat. It's Darium. Oh, Darium, you're lighting up people's lives. You light up my life. Oh, it's Darium. All right. So what are you guys celebrating? Because we know I'm celebrating that 1 pound. I'm taking that to the bank. And saying to my weight loss bank and saying thank you. Another thing is, I'm not the best promoter, but I said I'm going to remember to put this stuff in my on my chat so you guys can remember. But I would love to, shout this out. I'm using the PEP app, that GLP-1. It's specifically made for GLP-1 to track what I'm doing with my calories, my macros, my shots, all of that. If you're interested in doing the premium to get more out of the app, because you could do a lot for free too. But if you're interested in the premium, don't forget Shay, which is my name. Put my name in there. And I think the membership is like $40 and you get $10 off. So you get it's for $30. So go on that PEP app. I need to I'm going to put the picture up the next time so you can see how it looks if you're interested. So if you're someone who wants to track your shots, you want to track your steps, you could connect it to your Apple Watch. I love the idea of having an app that's like you could do everything with it, right? I love that. You could track everything you want to track with it. And, because I'm, must be doing well on YouTube, thank goodness. It's, this is YouTube. These streets are not easy on here. I have a lot of, people reaching out about different things. And I only really will, bring you guys on board with something that I really think is beneficial. If I don't think it's beneficial, I don't care how much they're offering, to pay me or do this or say that. I'm just not going to do it if it's not something I'm using and I'm doing. And I think that's a good thing. And I also don't want to be trying out 15 things, right? I'm going to stick to, a few certain things that I really am actually using and can benefit from. And hopefully you guys can benefit from it. So like I said, go on there if you're interested in tracking your shots, your you put before, and you can put pictures in there, which I love that because I haven't seen an app do that. You can't do that in MyFitnessPal. You could put pictures in there. You can, they tell you how much your life is left on your shot, like how effective it is. And it's an estimate, but I love knowing that. And I feel like it's accurate. You can track your side effects, like your side effects. So let's say, I couldn't go live on a Sunday at my house where I have everything organized. If I have that app, I could just, well, I would be on the phone. So, but maybe if I had another computer somewhere, because I was going to say, I could just go on there and look at my information and just pull it out. I think this is a great resource for me to take to my doctor. That's one of the first things I thought about. Like, I could have all this information in this app and take it and show my doctor my shots, my this, my that. And this is going to be important when I get to that point where I need to move up to the 15 milligrams. I want to have all this information to show my doctor, but I have a feeling if my A1C is kind of going down, she's not going to really care so much about the weight loss as much. She's really big into slow and steady, because she says people who lose slow and steady, not everybody. Now, we know it's never all or nothing, but most people who lose slow and steady, and that means like taking into consideration, not the people who are losing like 50 pounds in 3 months right away, eventually down the road, it's going to average out. Like she said, it might slow down and you might average out, and that's fine. But eventually, when you do that, you have a better chance of like keeping it off long term, even with this medication. Because we know, just like people could eat their way back up in pounds on that bariatric surgery, people could probably eat their way back on pounds. And I know I could when I'm in those lower doses. If I was in those lower doses, I probably would have been eating a lot more than I am now. Like, this 12.5 has regulated my appetite and made me not want to get up and eat, right? I've just been able to do the intermittent fasting a lot more. So anyway, so if you're interested, check it out. If not, then that's okay too. That's okay too. Everybody doesn't want to track, and I realize that. Dee, rich auntie vibes, the hip hop star. Yes. Now, I don't know about the rich, because I'm not rich. I'm here thinking like, geez, so my job, we just had my job, we just had what do you call that? Like a new contract renewal. And so finally, it's for years and years, we did not get a pay increase. And then we got a little bit of one. And so now this year, we've gotten a pay increase. And so I'm like, gosh, do I really want to retire? Do I want to stick around one more year? So, gosh, if I had rich auntie vibes, I would have been out of there. I wish I did have the rich going on. I don't know if I want to be rich though, because I feel like more money, more problems. Do you guys feel like that? Like, I feel like I'm like, I'm okay. I'm doing okay. I'm hanging in there. But I feel like if I was rich, I would have even more problems. And then I feel like when you're rich, that brings on the haters, so I don't know if I would want to be rich. Would you guys want to be rich? I don't know. Maybe you guys would. I feel like I just don't. But what do I want to have, the auntie vibes? Am I an auntie? I guess at 53, I'm an auntie. At 53, I'm an auntie. At 53, I'm an auntie. At 50, am I an auntie? Jeez Louise. They say that on the Real Housewives of Atlanta. They call those ladies auntie. I don't want to be an auntie. I want to kick me out of the auntie club. Um, I want to be out of the auntie club. Do you guys that are in your 50s, do you still in 40s, late 40s, 50s, do you consider yourself in the auntie club? I just wonder if you do or not. It's some young girls on YouTube I see that's in the GLP-1, and I just love it. I love seeing the younger women doing the GLP-1. You know why? Because I don't know. You guys tell me, when you see a young person, because you guys know I'm in my 50s and I might look a little bit younger than the 50s, but I'm at 53. But when you see a young girl starting off on her GOP journey, let me know in the chat. What do you think about that? I'm talking about the YouTubers that are young. What do you guys think about when you see them? You don't have to name anybody. But I'm just saying, when you see some, because I've been getting a lot of newer people out there that I can see that are starting their journeys, and people are watching, which is great. So what do you think when you guys see a newbie that's young, like a young lady or a young guy that's on this journey? Mel Mel says, I have a rich and full life already. I'm so very blessed. Wait, UWT still. Now, I don't know what that means, Mel. What is the UT? I wouldn't mind being financially rich. I want to be rich. I don't consider myself an auntie and I'm over 50. I'm fine. Everybody said I'm fine. I feel like you got more money, it's more problems. Now, if you rich, there's a difference between wanting to be comfortable and just rich. And is rich different than wealthy? How about that? Is that a thing too? Yeah, I want to be to the point where I don't have to worry about money. But in my profession, I'm never gonna probably get that because, in my profession, you don't make a whole ton of money. You just don't. I would like to be rich, but I feel it would make me appreciate the little gifts I have to give myself less. Yes, that could be true. That could be true. Z, she says that. What does Z say? Z says, show me the money. I need to pay for my meds. Me too. I think I don't know if my meds are going to be covered once I retire. Now I hear they are, but things change so much. Things change so much that, I don't know for sure. So that's kind of a little bit of a risk I'll be taking, right? Because I might be on here, um, just like, geez, Louise, like I don't know what's going on, but yeah, geez, I don't know. Hey, haters are gonna hate. Haters gonna hate. And ballers gonna ball. Some people just like hating, whether you're rich, poor, and in between. That's a them problem, not you. Yes. Yeah, let me give you some confetti on that. I love that. Yes, yes, yes. Haters are gonna hate. Yes, yes, yes. But I feel like it's a lot more though when you got some coins in your pocket. Bring me the prize. Bring me the problems. I take wealthy for 1,000, Alex. Aisha, that tickled me. I love that. Live debt free equals which wealthy. Yeah, so comfortable is a better word for me. Comfortable is a better word. I want to be rich. I want lots and lots of money. Sang, Dee. You guys didn't answer my question about the new content creator. So I'm just going to tell you my thoughts. So my thoughts I see a lot of newbies and I love that for them. You know why? Because I feel like, don't you guys wish, and everything happens in God's time. So let me just say that. And I'm really not a regretful person at all. But I do wish that I had access to these meds when I was younger, when I was in my 20s and my 30s. So I love to see some of these younger girls getting a grasp of their health at a young age. I love to see it. It warms my heart to see it when I see it because I think to myself, geez, oh man, like, but you know what? My life probably would have been different had I been on those meds and in my 20s and 30s. Jeez, oh man, I'm not gonna tell you what I could have been doing, but you can only just imagine. So it's like things happen as they should, but I love to see it. Sometimes I hear people say like they have their kids on the medication and and I know people say, should kids be on it or not? When I say kids, I'm talking about at least like 14 on up, that have kids on it. And I just think like that's a personal, thing for a parent to choose for their child. And I think gosh, but kids, I just don't want to even be in tears about this, but kids do suffer on these playgrounds and kids do suffer socially when they are overweight. They just do. And I'm going to tell you, if you're one of those people that were bullied as a kid about your looks and your weight, it's worse now. When I tell you it's worse, it's worse. It really is worse. And you got to think I'm teaching at the elementary school, but I have, my middle school and high school kids come back and visit or they contact me and they tell me things that go on in that high school, in the middle school with how people talk about you and what you're wearing and this and that. And I just worry for my own daughter, for our own kids and your grandkids. A lot of you are my age are probably grandmothers. And I just worry for these kids these days and the pressure to be thin and to look a certain way. And not, remember it used to be like the pressure to be thin was one thing, right? To look a certain way. Now the pressure is to have that flat stomach, the big behind and boobies. And a lot of times when you're smaller, the boobies and the behind are the first to go. So then that forces these kids to want to get enhancements. And so what do they want to do to make some money if they don't have it from a parent? To get on these social media platforms and put the raunchiest stuff out there, not the best content out there to get attention so they could try to make money and be an influencer. And it's just a cycle. It's kind of like a cycle that goes on and on. So anybody out here that's a parent, has nieces and nephews, have anybody they love at a young age, support them as much as you can, because when I tell you they're struggling with things going on, they just are. And it's just a lot that goes on that playground. It's a lot that goes on in those lunchrooms. And, I'm just going to tell, this story, and I don't like to talk about work a lot, and this is not at my job, but I was told a story because I have some teacher friends, obviously, and I was told a story that don't teach even in my state. And I was told a story about how this lady visited, she was visiting this high school, and she said these boys were teasing this girl. When she got up, they were making noises, calling her big bag. That's why I don't like the term big bag. But they were making these noises. They were calling her names. They were saying, calling her big bag. And every time she moved or like picked up her fork, they would make like pig noises, right? And just think of that. So you are and she didn't really have, she was sitting there because I was like, what was her friend saying? And she was like, I don't think she had any friends. She was sitting by herself. So can you imagine that girl going to school, like how tough that is for her to even learn, knowing she's going to go in this social situation and this is how it's going to be. And so when people wonder why, I say I'm lead with kindness, I really try to lead with kindness because I see what it's like for people who are not kind. And, I'm sure a lot of us have been in situations where we were bullied. Maybe you were the bully and were reformed, I hope, if you were. Because a lot of times it's easy to get in that mean girl circle, right? Where you're caught up in it and you're just in there and you don't really want to be, but you're caught up in it. And so I see that so much. So when I see these girls, these young content creators, on these GLP-1s changing their lives, I just applaud them. And it makes me happy. It makes me happy to see it. And it just makes me think like, geez, I wish these were around when I was that age. My girl, Miss B, she said, but the tirzepatide and support from y'all has been most effective for me now. I changed my goal to get to lifetime and save money. All right, very good. Now, I must have missed that comment from Paula, but if it came from Paula, I know it was a legit, good comment. Thank you, Delilah. Thank you. Hey, Delilah, I don't think I saw you in here. Hello, hello. Let's see. Let's see. Joe, she says, great job. JC, that's awesome weight loss. Miss V said they started the changes long before restructure. I think COVID was really messed them up financially. Oh, COVID was what messed them up. Who are we talking about? I missed that part. If Weight Watchers works for you, that's great. I have a lifetime status there as well. I learned so much from this community on what really works. Yes, 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 yes. Oh, you're talking about Weight Watchers. Yes, yes. Yeah. And then I would imagine, but actually I was watching this commercial and people were saying, okay, wait, my daughter's raising her hand. I was watching this Weight Watchers commercial, and she was saying how the lady on there was saying how she was prescribed Zepbound through Weight Watchers. So I wanted to say to you guys, if you have a struggle getting your meds, and I don't know the cost, I don't know if insurance plays a part in it. I didn't get that part, but I just found that interesting that Weight Watchers was prescribing. I don't know if they were prescribing, but you could get it through Weight Watchers. Maybe that's something you could have done for a long time and I just didn't know about it, but I thought that was interesting for people who may need it. I think having a lot of avenues can't be anything but helpful. Okay, so you're a lifetime member. I always say I should be a lifetime member, Paula, because I know I put so much money in Weight Watchers. Like over the course of my time at Weight Watchers, I'm sure I lost 150 pounds, if not more, because I would go and stop, go and stop, go and stop. And the most I lost at a time was like up in the 20s. Maybe I lost 30 pounds at some point, but yeah, I had a hard time sticking to it. The app works for me. The overall program, not so much. Oh, you talking about the Weight Watchers? Yeah, I used to like that app too. I did a live, and you talked about how the sugar. I can't catch the end of that. Thanks for the reminder. 6.5 plus for the diagnosis. Okay, so it's 6.5. Okay, very good. I need to check that out. Okay. Sydney, hello, hello. Look at you, looking suave and debonair. I enjoy your channel. I appreciate your insights, ideas, and that you share your experiences. Thank you. Thank you. This is kind of a tough road to be sharing, but this community is so supportive that it's so helpful. And look at your now your picture is giving rich auntie vibes. Talk about a rich auntie vibe. Sweet friends, please like and subscribe if you have not done so. Yes, thank you, thank you. I love it. Thank you, Nicole. Let's see. I'm sorry. I'm trying to find some questions. I celebrate hanging out with my neighbor at the skate park and basketball. Oh my God. I'm coming out. I want the world to know. Joe's gonna let it show. Dun, dun, dun. Joe's coming out. Joe, yes, girl. That just lights my fire. Every time you talk about that, that just makes me excited. You know, Diana Ross is one of my favorites. I even got my daughter. My daughter will ask me sometimes, she's like, Mom, can you play Diana Ross? And my favorite Diana Ross song. Who has a favorite Diana Ross song? I have to give up on these tangents. Who has a favorite Diana Ross song? It could be from the Supremes, but my favorite is one of her own. And it is, I think it's like a sexy kind of vibe to it. But I love her song, I Want My Soul. Ooh, ooh, ooh. All over his body is something from his head down to his toes. You guys know that song? She says, Muscle Man, I want to hold you. Something like that. Whatever. I ain't going to sing the whole song now because I might have to reminisce up in here. I'm going to be like Chris Brown and be back with my old flame listening to some Diana Ross. Jeez Louise. I love her, though. All right. So, jeez Louise, you guys are so funny. Michelle, happy Sunday. Hey, go ahead, Dee Dee singing some Debbie Boone. You light up my life. Is that who sings that? Oh my gosh, I remember that. You love you some Miss Ross. I do too. Okay, so you said your real name is Gail. Okay, Gail, I love that. My mom had a really good friend named Gail. I love that. You're gonna have to make the song. I'm going out. I want the world to know. Or Joe's going out. I love that. Very good, Joe. We're singing again, Mel, and we're dancing too. I love that. Happy anniversary, Bellflower. Bellflower, is it your anniversary? Did I miss that up in the chat? I probably missed that. I told you guys, sometimes I miss the comments. So happy anniversary. Now I don't know if this is what anniversary is this your Mounjaro anniversary? What is it? I missed that. Missed that comment. When I click on a banner or something else, it just takes me like it'll go up, it'll go down. Okay, I see all those comments about all these folks wanting to be rich. You guys, this one cracked me up. I'll take wealthy for 1,000, Alex. That's just something I would say. That is so funny. I love it, love it, love it. She says getting healthy early is a blessing. Yes, that's why I love to see these people out there doing it at a young age. It just makes me, just it feels good. Let's see. It feels good to see that. It's when rich folks flaunt and brings folks around them that they shouldn't have that. Yes, yes. JC, you are very, very smart. I love that. I love the way you think. You are so right. And then didn't somebody have that? What was Diana Ross's song originally? But didn't the rapper say more money, more problems? Yeah, more money, more problems. I did answer. I said I think good for them for pie. Oh, I didn't see that. I'm sorry. Thank you for repeating that. Yes, that's what I say, Taisha. Good for them for prioritizing their journeys, like, and just their health and getting it on YouTube and maybe helping somebody else. I love finding new content. I just cringe when they quote inaccurate facts, but everyone is learning. I give them grace for sure. So Daniel, do you correct them in the chat or do you just let it go? Because I know that's a pet peeve of the mighty male. Do you correct Darren or you let it go? I think I've had a greater self-confidence and self-worth in my 20s and 30s. I found it now in my 40s, but I needed it back then. And this is one of the things where we can't have it all, because sometimes I wish that I say to myself, it's a double-edged sword, because sometimes I say, gosh, I wish I had the youth that I had with the knowledge that I have now, and that's why, when you're older, you're hopefully wiser. And I always say this, and I want you guys to remind me of this, especially when it comes to relationships. And when I, bring a guy to the DD community, I don't want to be an old fool. I think an old fool is just a sight to see. And so, age brings wisdom, right? And so I think I really want to practice that. And I've held out for like a good man, Savannah, up until this point. So I hope I can continue to do that, and I don't feel the need to be in a relationship. I don't feel the need to be like, oh gosh, I want to run out and date. But I do realize that I gotta, when I was selective before, but now I gotta be even more selective now, because I'm at a certain point in my life, career-wise. I'm at a certain point in my life with my daughter. I'm at a certain point in my life with my parents not, being around, that, I got to make some smart choices. This is no time to get into the foolishness now. And so yeah, so you guys, you just let me know. Like, if you don't want to embarrass me online, send me an email and say, Dee Dee, what are you doing? What are you doing? Jeez, Louise. Okay, okay, okay. I think I scrolled down too far. Right. What are you guys celebrating? I'm going back down through the chat. Any celebrations for you guys? I'm celebrating my loss, my 1 pound loss. I will take it all day, every day. And what are you guys celebrating? I'm scrolling down. I'm scrolling. Hey, Jennifer, how are you? She says you're watching from your gym right now. Geez, Louise, I love that. Let's see. I love your hair. It looks like you have like a curly blowout. I don't try to correct anyone. I don't personally know, because I've learned that people can really be sensitive, and it's not worth the mental gymnastics. Oh my gosh. Yes, Taisha, way to put that. My favorite song is the theme to Mahogany. Yes, that's a good one. Do you know where you're going to? Do you like the things that life is showing you? That's a good theme song for somebody on a GOP1, right? Do we know where we're going? Geez, Louise, I love that. All right, Marjorie. She says, Dee Dee, I don't want to embarrass you, but you are beautiful. Thank you. Thank you. But you know what? I want to be beautiful from the inside out. So I hope that is true. I hope that shines through, because that's what I'm trying to do. And that's what I hope to be for, anybody that's around me. I don't correct folks I don't know. Okay. That's a smart move too. I think that's smart. I think that's smart to go up in somebody's comments, correcting them. It's probably smart, but some people are just like, oh no, I'm not gonna let you put that out that bad info out here. I remember somebody corrected me on oh, that one is beautiful. Yeah, it is. I remember someone corrected me on one of my videos, and I just, had a research article, and because I do research, and sometimes I don't put it in the chat and stuff. I'm not in the chat, but in the description, which I probably should. But the research that I had gotten, it was on one of my protein videos. It was from the Harvard Review, and I would consider them credible. So I attached that to, my response, and the lady wrote back and said, I'm going to check this article out. Thank you. And I think she might have circled back and said, thank you for the information. So I think that there's a way to do things and to correct people, but some people are just going to go up in your comments and blast you out. I guess they're doing it in other people's comments, but yeah. So that's just what it's kind of like this research. Now we all know you can find research to support whatever you kind of want to, right? There might be some research to support it, but I think we all know what some reputable sites are. So I try to stick with those, like something that I know that's reliable and you could count on the support. Yeah. So yes, let's see. It's now my anniversary. I'm celebrating 1 pound as well. Today is a shot day and a weekly weight. Yes, you did tell me on Sunday. All right, very good. Thank you for putting that back in the chat. Thank you. Very good. Good job. a pound down. And she started tracking. I love that. I love that she started tracking and she could actually see, and she was surprised. This is why we tell you guys, the people that talk about tracking, the reason why we say to track is because when you think you know what you're eating, you really do not. I mean, I'm telling you, it's eye-opening. And I'm not saying track forever if you get fatigued with tracking, but I'm saying track for 3 days, track for 5 days. The best probably thing you could do is track for a week. Another thing about that PEP app is it allows you to take pictures. Now, I'm still working on that to see how accurate that is. But I just kind of, every app kind of is different. But, you could take a picture of your stuff and show it too. So, yeah. So let me put that back up here just in case people watching at home, you want to be like taking a picture of your what you're putting in there. And, you can also just link it in the description. I wonder if I think I put it in here. It's in the, did I put it in the chat? I'm going to put it in the chat for anybody who wants to get that app. I think we got to do whatever we can to help us. Like, we need tools, just like this weight loss is a tool. We need tracking tools. We need exercise tools. We need all the tools that we can get. I don't think it's going to hurt if that's something you can afford to do. But if not, go with the free part of it. Go with the free part of it. You don't have to pay for the premium. If you want to just do it for free and try it out, or to try out the little short-term thing, I think it's a 14-day, you get a free trial. Let's see. Now, I'm just going to tell you, if you're doing something and you're getting that free trial, go into your app or go into your calendar or go into your alert, whatever you have. And I want you to give yourself a reminder that you're going to cancel that. Because if you just say, oh, I'm doing the free trial, the next thing you know, they're charging you for the next month. So that's what I do. And that has helped me. And actually, I have to do it for like 2 days. I give myself an alert for 2 days in a row. That I need to remember to cancel just in case I forget the one day. So that's always a thing too. Okay, so what are you guys celebrating? Let me see, and then we're out of here. So we had our girl Bellflower. She was celebrating that 1 pound, like Downsizing Diva. Let's see. Let's see. I'm trying to scroll down here. Yeah, that's a great comment. We need to educate our young ones so they don't put their souls out for sale on the social media. I know, it's kind of terrible. What is Darium saying, Kim? I might think I might be scrolling down. And she said she just caught what he said about the rich auntie. Your sister is tiny, always been, and she would go beat up the bullies, whatever size they were. She's in social work. She's in social work, probably telling folks don't beat each other up now, but she used to do it back in the day. I love somebody who would stand up to a bully, though. I like that. Now, I don't think you should be fighting them, but beating them up. But I do like we call that in school, we call that an upstander. So, a bystander is to sit and watch somebody be a bully and not say anything and maybe just kind of chime into or, help, talk about that person or, be negative. But we call the people that, say, hey, I'm not going to allow you to do that. This is a good person. I'm going to go tell the teacher. I'm going to tell the principal. I'm going to tell the assistant. We call those people an upstander. And I will have to say, if I'm not anything else, I'm definitely an upstander. I really pride myself on being an upstander, trying to give people the benefit of the doubt as long as I can. And when I see somebody doing wrong, saying something about it. Now, I am a person who will do that. My mom always tell me, you better stop doing that. You don't know and I don't do it with people I don't know because, nowadays people, you don't know what they'll do. But my mom used to always say, don't do that. Just let them fend for themselves. And I guess I learned in school, to be an upstander. I'm talking to kids every day about, at least if you're not going to say anything and insert yourself in that way, to tell an administrator or a teacher or an assistant. So I kind of have to be able to do the same thing. And with an adult, though, who do you tell? And, it's like hard to go tell somebody on an adult. So anyway, yeah, thank you to the upstander. I'm gonna call your sister. Tell your sister she's an upstander, and we love that. I did see the rich auntie comment. I made a comment about it, Darren. Did you call? You said I'm giving rich auntie vibes. Didn't you say that? I think that's what I saw. She's always been, and I put it up there. She's always been a guardian for the weaker ones who are struggling. I love that. She's an upstander for sure. Yes, yes, yes. No, Weight Watchers only started when the men started taking some of their business and when Oprah came out and talked about it. Oh, Weight Watchers only started when the men started taking some. Yeah. Well, yeah. And I just saw this commercial the other day. So, yeah, it's not like I saw it months ago. So I figured everybody's going to get on board eventually with these GOP ones, or maybe not everybody, most people, because it's a cash cow. They see it coming. They see it coming. Um, Thank you, Felicity. I wanted to show a photo of the two of us. We were really young. She's not so. And respect that too, Joe. If she doesn't want to be seen, don't put it up. That's why I haven't put up my mom. And like I say, if I ever get to the same size as my mom, I'm gonna put up a picture and maybe I'll just like put glasses on or something. But I really want you to see we look so much alike. And the more I slim down, the more we look alike. Yeah, I'm over here jamming, Taisha. Yes, yes, yes. Let's see. Joe, she says she's your inspiration. We love that. Get it, Dee Dee. I remember that. Man, I'm not gonna read the rest of that. He may be watching. Your favorite tune is I'm Coming Out and Upside Down. Upside down. Boy, you're turning me inside out. I wish I had somebody that was turning me upside down. Oh my gosh. She says, right, Paula, Weight Watchers does work for a lot of people, and it's awesome. It's a reason why there are different diets, regimens. You said, I believe it's finding what works for you, creating that healthy lifestyle changes. I agree. It's my house and I live here. Oh my God. Okay, what is that? Are you just standing on business with that, or is that a song? I don't know. You're watching, and I saw Jennifer was watching from the gym. Okay, so I'm back up. I scrolled. I had to go all the way back up. Let's see. Dee Dee, oh, thank you, Joe. You are truly beautiful from the inside out. And I'm really trying to be like, it's on purpose. I want to be. That's my goal. I'm celebrating another consistent week of strength training and yoga and drumming. Yes. Okay, Taisha. Go, Taisha. Go, Taisha. Go, Taisha. She found her thing. She hit her stride. We love it. Let's see. Who else? We celebrated Bellflower. Let's see. Thank you for that, Joe. People are saying she is smashing it. And Kim is still talking about the more money, more Go, Kim. Go, Kim. Go, Kim. Go, Kim. Go, Kim. You said that's smart to cite your sources. Yes, yes, yes. Especially if somebody calls me on it. Sometimes I don't always put it down there because my description thing is so long. But if somebody says that if somebody has a conflict, I'm going to have like a source because I'm not really just saying things off the top of my head. I am, I feel like you could talk about your experience. Now you could disagree with that, but if you're saying factual statements, I think that you have to be able to back it up. And people say like, oh, you should be GPTing and Googling. Well, I'm going to tell you from an educator, a smart person, and this you could Google this, but a smart person is not the person that could spot out all the facts. It really is not. A smart person is a resourceful person. Now, are we impressed by somebody who knows lots of facts and is smart? Of course we are. We're I'm impressed by that. Somebody who is in Mensa, or somebody who was in National Honor Society like myself, like that kind of stuff is impressive. But there are also some smart fools. It's some smart fools out there too in other areas. So I would say, a smart person is a resourceful person. So I appreciate a resourceful person that's going to go, and if you correct them, they're going to go back and they're going to find the information to be able to share the factual things. And you guys know who to follow. You guys know who's out there, who's doing it and who's not. The thing I will say though, is if somebody's giving out false information or fake information, somebody needs to tell them, because how are they going to know to change it? And I get what Taisha was saying. She's saying people are so sensitive, but I think it's kind of the way we say things and maybe how we respond could be a good thing. So maybe she has a friend or somebody who's like a loyal follower. Does she have Gen F up in her chat? Because Gen F is going to tell you that's not true. Jen is going to let you know, hey, wait a minute, hold up, wait a minute. And so, yeah, I think sometimes, though, it is nice to know, because otherwise they're going to be, just to think about how many people are getting that not factual information. And then people might be unsubscribing to this girl or people when they just made a mistake and somebody could have helped them fix it. So I guess I look at it from that point of view too. Now, if it's a content creator that I know is just going to be, not nice, I won't say it. Because, why do I want to get my feelings hurt while I'm just scrolling down the internet? Congratulations, says Grace, to all incredible achievements and wins. I'm celebrating making chicken wraps at home instead of going to the Cheesecake Factory. Yes. The Cheesecake Factory, they do have some good lettuce wraps, though, don't they? They do have some good lettuce wraps, too. Let's see. Let's give her some confetti. I think that's awesome. Anytime you're making stuff at home, you can read the ingredients, you know what's in it. I think that's a win, win, and a win. All right, very good. She says, I want to be rich, not famous. And yes, I'm an auntie to the girls in their 20s and 30s, and that's cool. Even though I look as young as them, clock it. Yes, and you know what? You really do. You have some good skin, too. You have some great skin. Like, you need to be on a skin commercial. And I say that, I'm not joking. I really mean that. Your skin is flawless. Like, yeah, one day we got to check that skin out, Bellflower. Somebody else besides the Downsizing Diva. Celebrating starting 5.0 this Wednesday. Here's to any adjustments my body needs and staying hydrated. And you know what? This is awesome, JC, because you're putting it out there. You're not saying, oh, I don't know. You guys see how she did that? You guys see, let's take note of this, because seriously, this is the mindset shift that I'm talking about. Celebrating starting 5 this coming Wednesday. She's not saying, oh, I'm worried I'm going to have this. Oh, I'm worried this is going to happen. Oh, I may get this. Oh, this. She's already putting it to existence. Here's to any adjustment my body needs and staying hydrated. I'm going to give you 10 stars. That's excellent. That's the mindset we need. That's what a lot of people, including myself, remember when I was going on 12, I was so worried about this, that. I almost talked myself out of it. JC, I'm going to give you the win. Gosh, I don't know if you can you start a comment? I love that, because that's the mindset. And, this is reminding me of this kind of conversation is what I try to tell the kids in my class when they see, where we said we're talking about fractions. They know fractions is hard. So automatically their head is out of the game. I can't do it. It's so hard. And I'm telling them, does Michael Jordan walk? Well, they don't know Michael Jordan. Some of them do. Does LeBron James walk out on the court and say, I can't make a basket? He does not. Everybody knows Kobe Bryant, rest his soul. But did he walk out there saying, I'm no good? This is going to be so horrible. This is going to be a terrible game. I didn't get my 8 hours of sleep. He does not. He walks out there with confidence. So I love that. That's a great mindset shift that a lot of us don't have. A lot of us, and I even teach it. And sometimes I have to catch myself with that. So when I go into that 15 milligrams eventually here, this is the attitude I'm going to have. I'm going to have to mark this down, because this is the attitude I want to have coming in, and that's going to set the tone for how I do. Let me know. It says community, let me know what to expect. Titrating up. Well, see, now we're inviting in that energy that might not be the best. You don't need to know. If it's not good, don't put it in that chat, because then you're going to be thinking that's going to be your expectations. I would stick with your positivity up here. Here's to any adjustments, and I would even put that in a prayer that your body needs, and you're going to stay hydrated. That's all you need to know to go into that 5.0. Now, if something happens and you hit a snag, that's on you, because like some people may have had nausea. You don't want that in your head that you may get that. Some people may have constipation. They didn't have it on 2.5. They had it on 5. You don't want that in your head. You want to stay positive. Very good. Let's see. Okay. JC, it varies person to person. Some experience nothing, others experience more side effects. Absolutely. Jay-Z, Downsizing Diva has a titration checklist video. I do. Thank you for remembering that. It's Darian. Very good. I'll have to remember to bring that to the next live, the link to that. I have an absolute intolerance for bullies as well as the company they keep. We need more love in the world. I just said, as well as the company they keep. I love that. I love that. That's a great reminder for me because I'm telling you, a lot of what goes down, a lot of the issues that the kids have, I'm telling you, is on that playground. So if you guys have kids and grandkids that aren't in the shenanigans, you go give yourself, thank God. Don't give yourself anything. Thank God for that. Because I'm telling you, it's a lot that goes down when these kids get older. And a lot of it stems from the games they're playing. A lot of the shenanigans. So I would be watching what your kids' games they're playing because they're also communicating with people on those games. And some of those games they're communicating with people that are not kids. Those are grown men and women they're talking to, and they don't even know it. So if I were you, I'd be watching. And no, my daughter does not play video games, and that's why, because I'm not going to be sitting there watching her, sitting there regulating the chat. So she's just not going to be playing. And I'm okay with that. She will survive. I survived, 53 years without being into those video games. Now, if you're in it, it's nothing wrong with that. I'm just saying. I'm just telling you, based off of my experience, those video games, it's a lot of conversation, uncomfortable conversations that go down that parents aren't aware of. If you want to know more about it, just send me an email. I just celebrated a 2.8 weight loss on 7.5. This is Gail, right? Am I getting the name right? Did you say Gail? After being stagnant yes, because I remember my mom has a friend named Gail. And Gail, we could be Gail and Oprah. How about that? That's how I'm going to remember. So on 7.5 milligrams after being stagnant for 6 weeks. Okay, on the 5.0. Very good. You just celebrate 2.8. That's a good loss in a week. Geez, Louise. And I didn't do 7.5 was not my jam. So I love that for you. All right, let's give you some confetti. Excellent job. Excellent. All right, thank you for sharing that. We love that. Love it, love it, love it. Let's see. I scroll down, Gail, too much. Jeez Louise. Okay, here we go. All right, people are saying congratulations. It's Daria. Oh, you're so funny. Agreed regarding the bullies. Yes. I agree, Z. Congratulations to everyone celebrating non-scale and scale victories. We've got this. And also, if you have a struggle for us to help you work through, I really like to do that on a Wednesday, but I could do it today too. Somebody put that in there. If you're having some struggles, share that in the chat too, because we want to support you. We realize everything is not great, but if Joe kind of did earlier when she talked about, just people, who've been on this journey for a while, or even if you haven't, maybe you're just only in it 2 or 3 months and you're sick of it already. That you're tired of it. That could be a thing. We want to support you in that. And I think I gave some good suggestions of what you could do earlier. So I think that that's good too. She says, what? Geez, Louise, Dee, what part was that? What part are you guys talking about? I don't know. I'm over here chatting. Let's see. Dee Dee, in due time, hun. Upside down hill. Oh. Oh, you guys are talking about when I was talking about that. That is a song by Diana Ross. He says, let me find out acrobatic season is loading. I'm so far behind in the chat. If that's where we're at, you guys are so funny. You should definitely go check out Dee Dee's titration checklist video. She covers so much in there. Yes, yes, yes. Thank you for that. Dee Dee, get ready, get ready. Pilates going to help limber you right on out to. Get ready to turn up with my man, my man, my man. Yes, Kim. Yes, girl. That tickled me. That tickled me. You gotta have some laughs on this journey. You gotta have some laughs. Jeez Louise, let me get my buns off of this chat. Hey Shay, how are you? How are you? Thanks for coming in. Oh my gosh. All right, Mel to the B. Mel, who is so annoyed by people who that's her I remember that. That's her, what do you call it? Pet peeve. Yes, agreed on that, Dee Dee. Being intelligent includes verifying from credible sources. Yes, yes, yes. We love that. We were talking, I was saying how my head is so big, and especially when I'm comparing it to like my friend. People were like, well, that means your brain is bigger. Well, I hope so, because geez Louise, I'm like, all you guys look like your heads are so little, cute little heads, and then my head is gigantic. And you just take a picture with me, you're gonna be like, dang, she has a big old head. I gotta embrace it. I'm okay with it though. I am okay with it. All right, your pet peeve is also reporting falsehoods. It must be a lot of people reporting falsehoods that I'm not privy to. So I'm glad I'm not privy to that. Um, but geez, Louise. Oh gosh, I might have to go out now and get me a man so I can be like, my man, my man, my man. Don't you? I love when people say that. I think it's the cutest thing when people say that, my man, my man, my man. Okay, so Kim said, you've got this, JC, hoping 5 milligrams serves you well. Yes, yes, yes. Shay says, about to move up to 10 milligrams. All right, Shay, you're doing well too on your journey. So good for you. Let's give you some confetti. You're moving on up. You're moving on up to 10 milligrams. You're moving up. Okay, we're just going to say it all positive. And you know what? I had a positive experience on 10. I will say, I think that's one of my favorite doses. So may the dose be with you. I love that. I love the 10 milligrams. I thought it was a good dose for me. Shay with an E and Shay with an A. Okay, so she says, Joe, oh yeah, oh, with bellflowers, yeah, you got to go back to get her little regime or her routine. And you know what? I was supposed to order her routine this month, and then that what's it called? Il Miyake, is that what it is called? That skincare, and I was signed up for like. I need to go to their website because they have me on automatic shipments, and I tried canceling it. And so hopefully they don't send me another box because I don't even need another box. But I wanted to switch over. And now, especially going into the winter when your skin can tend to be dry and stuff, I wanted to switch over to Nicole's routine. So yeah, that's in one of my lives. I'm gonna write myself a note because maybe I'll post that. And so people could go back to it, but I have to write it down. Okay. Checklist. So you're going to be seeing a lot of posts from me. So it is going. So then that video, it was a Friday live where we talked about the skincare of it all. You guys had some great ideas too for the skincare. Okay, so I'll repost that. Okay. Let's see. Shay, how long were you on 7.5? Shay, people are rooting for you. You're nervous, but you're going to go in with that Kobe Bryant mindset, Shay, though. Like, I got this. I'm not nervous. And let's go with what JC says. Our body is going to adjust to whatever that medicine dishes out. I love that. I love that. JC, I'm going to be saying that because I think that's an excellent point to make. Rooting for you on 10 milligrams. Okay. Shay, congrats on your titration. Tim was good for you too. Okay, very good. Yeah, Tim was my friend. Oh, I'm sure I was on that. I probably was getting ready for yeah, because remember didn't I say bring the Linda cocktail to that one too? Or mocktail, cocktail, mocktail. All right, we have a super chat. Let's see. Mail to the B. Dee Dee, small heads do not always equal cute. It can get weird. Mel, you are so funny. Jeez, Lo. It could get weird. Now I'm trying to figure out what does that mean? It could get weird. Jeez, Louise, you guys are so funny. Oh my gosh. Jeez, Louise. Losing It Grace did a video with the charts and graphs and all of her doses. Dee Dee did a video. Yeah, because she's been asking me about that. And I did do a video with the charts and graphs and all my doses. So I'm going to find that for you, Grace. But I have something special coming up for you. Let's see. Uh, Video. Okay. Losing It Grace. All right, so before we get off of here, you guys are awesome. Thank you, Mel. Let me give you a thank you. You are too funny. Before we get off here, I just want to remind you guys. Um, yeah, I know, Bellflower. Isn't that funny? I wanted to remind you guys, slow and steady wins the race. Just don't quit. You got to remember that. And also, if you're going fast and furious, that's okay too. Fast and furious, if that works for you, take it. A win is a win is a win at the end of the day. So I will say that. Thank you for joining me. I've been on here almost 2 hours. We had such a good time. I will see you guys on Wednesday. Wednesday, we're going to be talking about we're gonna make it fun. We're gonna be talking about some hot topics. I'm gonna be sharing with you my drink that I am gonna be sipping on. That's hopefully it's gonna help me slim down. I'm gonna take this to my DEXA scan guy and ask him what he thinks about that. And it's just some kind of research I've been trying to gather, just to also my appetite is controlled. But when I'm getting to that point now where I'm getting to that that halfway point through where the meds is kind of waning off, and I'm going to need to stay strong for school. Teachers love to eat. If you know any teachers, we can eat. We like snacks. People are always bringing us snacks when the kids know what your favorites are. Even if you just mention it, like if I say my favorites are watermelon, cherries, all this stuff, even if I just mention I like chocolate, they're bringing in that chocolate, right? So, so I just have to really kind of stay strong. So I will see you guys on Wednesday. Thank you for all the involvement in the chat. I really appreciate that. I love you guys. Mel, thank you for chiming in and moderating, even from out of town. Like, geez, Louise, lady. Mel has a birthday coming up, so we're going to celebrate that. And then one last thing before I go, I want to celebrate that. And it's probably other people, but for some reason, they highlighted Mel, and she's been a member here for 6 months. But I know Taisha had to be because she was one of my first members. So I'm going to look that stuff up, and we're going to celebrate that too on Wednesday. I got a whole list of stuff to do. Jeez, Louise. All right. Thank you, guys. Have a great rest of your week. I'll see you on Wednesday at 8:30. Bye.